Opportunities of AI in content creation. Efficiency and scale. AI can automate repetitive tasks and generate content in unprecedented volumes, freeing up human creators for more strategic and creative work. AI can automate laborious content tasks from drafting emails and reports to generating product descriptions or social media posts, freeing up human creators for higher level strategic and creative work. It allows for content production at a scale previously unimaginable. AI can draft blog posts, emails, and even video scripts, saving hours of labor. Creative partnership. AI is not seen merely as a replacement, but as a creative assistant capable of generating ideas, suggesting alternatives, and overcoming creative blocks. Far from just replacing humans, AI can act as a powerful creative assistant. It can brainstorm ideas, suggest alternative phrasing, generate visual concepts, or help overcome creative blocks, augmenting human ingenuity. Whether it's sparking new ideas or rewriting sentences, AI can act as a creative collaborator. Warning: the AI content threat is here. Personalization. AI allows for tailoring content to the individual needs and preferences of users much more effectively. Businesses can leverage AI to tailor content experiences, like marketing messages or educational materials, to individual user needs and preferences far more effectively than manual methods allow. An AI can analyze customer data to determine preferences, behaviors, and patterns, enabling brands to deliver hyper-relevant messaging. Accessibility. AI can empower individuals facing difficulties with traditional content creation. AI tools can empower individuals who face barriers to traditional content creation, such as those with disabilities or language challenges, enabling them to communicate and express themselves more easily. SEO optimization. AI assists in keyword research, competitor analysis, and content structure optimization. AI simplifies and strengthens search engine optimization, SEO strategies. Tools like SEMrush and ClearScope utilize AI to identify the best performing keywords, optimize your content structure, and analyze competition. New forms of content. AI tools enable the creation of videos with virtual avatars and other innovative content forms. For instance, tools like Synthesia allow businesses to create on-brand videos seamlessly, featuring customizable AI avatars that narrate the content. Second, ethical challenges, authorship and intellectual property. The question of who holds the copyright for AI-generated content is central, with complex legal implications. Originality and unintentional plagiarism also become concerns. When an AI generates content based on a prompt, who owns the copyright? The user who wrote the prompt, the developers of the AI, or is the output even copyrightable? Many algorithms scrape the web to learn and generate content, which can result in accidental replication. Additionally, where exactly do we draw the line between AI assistance and outright plagiarism? Bias and fairness. AI models can perpetuate and amplify biases present in their training data, resulting in discriminatory or insensitive content. Artificial intelligence models inherit biases present in their training data. This can lead to generated content that reinforces harmful stereotypes, excludes certain demographics, or lacks cultural sensitivity, potentially amplifying societal inequalities. AI systems often inherit biases in the data they're trained on, leading to content that can unintentionally reinforce stereotypes or exclude underserved communities. Transparency and authenticity. The difficulty in distinguishing AI-generated content from human content can undermine trust and raise questions about information reliability. As AI-generated content becomes more sophisticated, distinguishing it from human-created work grows harder. This lack of transparency can erode trust. When audiences engage with AI-generated content, should they know a machine created it? Transparency around this aspect builds trust, ensuring companies maintain credibility with their users. Economic impact. Job displacement. The automation of content creation tasks raises concerns about job losses in fields like writing, design, and translation. The automation capabilities of AI raise valid concerns about job displacement for writers, designers, translators, and other professionals whose work involves content creation. While AI can assist and augment creators, it threatens to displace jobs in fields reliant on repetitive or entry level tasks. 3. Potential threats, proliferation of disinformation. AI facilitates the generation of fake news, disinformation campaigns, and deepfakes, potentially manipulating public opinion and harming democratic processes. AI makes it alarmingly easy to generate vast quantities of convincing fake news articles, fabricated social media campaigns, and deepfake text or audio impersonations. This can be weaponized to manipulate public opinion, interfere in democratic processes, or incite hatred and violence. The darker side of AI is its potential to amplify misinformation via tools that can generate convincing but false content. Deepfakes, video and audio content manipulated to spread falsehoods, pose challenges to content integrity and public trust. Sophisticated scams. AI can generate more effective and personalized phishing emails, fake reviews, and fraudulent websites. Phishing emails, fake product reviews, fraudulent websites, and other scams can be generated at scale and personalized using AI, making them more effective and harder to detect. Academic integrity. The ease with which students can generate academic work with AI presents a challenge for educational institutions. The ease with which students can generate essays or code using AI poses a serious challenge to educational institutions and the value of academic credentials. Information overload and quality degradation. Cheap and rapid content production could flood the internet with low quality and inaccurate information. The ability to produce content cheaply and quickly could flood the internet with low quality, repetitive, or simply inaccurate information, making it harder for users to find reliable sources and diminishing the overall quality of the digital commons. Over-reliance on AI. Excessive dependence on AI can lead to a loss of creativity and authenticity in content. Relying too heavily on AI can dilute genuine creativity and authenticity. Content that feels sterile or formulaic risks alienating audiences. AI is a tool, not a one-stop replacement for human ingenuity. 4. Strategies for a responsible path. Development of ethical guidelines. Establishing responsible standards and practices for AI development and deployment, focusing on fairness, accountability, and transparency, is crucial. Develop ethical guidelines. Clear industry standards and best practices for responsible AI development and deployment are needed, focusing on fairness, accountability, and transparency. Promotion of transparency. Mechanisms like digital watermarking or clear labeling should indicate when content is AI generated. Promote transparency. Mechanisms like digital watermarking or clear labeling should be encouraged or mandated to indicate when content is AI generated. Transparency around this aspect builds trust, ensuring companies maintain credibility with their users. Investment in detection. Robust tools need to be developed to identify AI-generated content. Invest in detection. Research and development of robust tools to detect AI-generated content are crucial for combating disinformation and academic dishonesty. Adaptation of legal frameworks. Lawmakers must address issues of copyright, liability for harmful AI-generated content, and data usage rights. Adapt legal frameworks. Policymakers must grapple with issues of copyright, liability for harmful AI-generated content, and data usage rights in the age of AI. Enhancement of digital literacy. Educating the public about AI's capabilities, limitations, and potential for misuse is essential for fostering critical consumption habits. Enhance digital literacy. Educating the public about AI capabilities, limitations, and potential for misuse is essential for fostering critical consumption habits. Encourage digital literacy. Human-AI collaboration. The future of content creation lies in collaboration between humans and AI, where AI amplifies creativity and efficiency while keeping the human perspective central. The future need not be AI versus humans, but rather humans with AI. Looking ahead, the winning formula for content creation will not pit humans against machines. Instead, it will leverage AI as a tool to amplify creativity and efficiency while keeping unique human perspectives central. Conclusion: AI in content creation offers transformative potential, but requires a careful and ethical approach. It is fundamental to balance the opportunities for efficiency and innovation with the need to mitigate the risks of disinformation, bias, and loss of trust. Collaboration between humans and AI, along with the development of ethical guidelines, the promotion of transparency, and investment in digital literacy, are crucial for navigating this new landscape and ensuring a responsible and trustworthy information future. As both sources conclude, the choices we make today will determine the future of content and our interaction with it.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've got a great batch of sources from you all, articles, even an audio transcript snippet, all pointing towards AI content generation.
Yeah, it's clearly a hot topic, and people want to understand what's really going on beyond the headlines.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack that. We'll look at the opportunities, the ethical questions, and maybe some of the real threats emerging as AI gets better at creating content.
We really want to pull out the core insights for everyone listening.
Absolutely, because this tech is evolving so fast, isn't it? I mean, the stuff AI can generate now, text, images, you name it, it can be incredibly hard to tell it apart from human work.
It really is changing the game. From simple chatbots just a few years ago to, well, this.
And, when you hear AI creating content, it's easy to jump to extremes. My mind immediately goes, well, a bit sci-fi, like Skynet territory.
Huh. Yeah, the idea of AI just endlessly churning out perfect misinformation or something.
Right, like totally manipulating us without us even realizing. Now, look, we're not saying the robot writers are taking over tomorrow.
Not quite yet, anyway.
But thinking about that extreme, that sort of Skynet for content scenario, it's a useful, maybe slightly dramatic way to frame the potential dangers, right? Just as a thought experiment.
It helps focus the mind on what could go wrong if we're not careful.
Okay, so let's dial it back from the killer AI narratives. What are the actual tangible benefits we're seeing right now?
Well, the first big one, and probably the most obvious, is efficiency and scale.
Ah, yes. Taking over the boring stuff.
Pretty much. Think about all those repetitive content tasks, writing standard emails, basic product descriptions, scheduling social media posts. AI can handle a lot of that.
And quickly, I imagine.
Incredibly quickly, at a volume that humans just, well, can't match. Realistically, it frees people up.
Right, so instead of spending hours writing 50 slightly different versions of an ad copy...
You feed the AI the core info, maybe some parameters, and boom, it generates variations in minutes. That lets human creators focus on the bigger picture. Strategy, high-level creative work.
Which leads neatly into the next point, doesn't it? This idea of AI as more than just a grunt worker, but maybe a creative partner.
Exactly. That came through strongly in the sources. It's not just about replacement, it's about augmentation. AI as a creative assistant.
How does that work in practice, though? Is it just suggesting synonyms?
It can be much more than that. Think brainstorming. You're stuck. And AI can analyze vast amounts of text and images and suggest completely new angles, different phrasing, even visual concepts.
Huh. So it could genuinely help overcome creative blocks?
Absolutely. It can spark ideas you might not have thought of, or maybe just rephrase something in a way that suddenly clicks. It's about enhancing human ingenuity, not replacing it.
Okay, I like that framing. What else?
Personalization is another massive one. AI is incredibly good at tailoring experiences.
We see this all the time, right? Like Spotify's Discover Weekly playlist.
That's a perfect example. It analyzes your listening habits, patterns, preferences, and delivers something hyper-relevant just for you.
So apply that to marketing, maybe education.
Exactly. Delivering messages or learning materials that really resonate with the individual far beyond what you could realistically do manually at scale.
Makes sense. And accessibility came up too.
Yes, and that's a really important point. AI tools can empower people who might face barriers with traditional content creation, maybe someone with a disability or facing language challenges.
So things like advanced text-to-speech or translation.
Tools that open up communication and self-expression for more people. It's a democratizing aspect, in a way.
That's a great benefit. Okay, shifting gears, slightly SEO, search engine optimization. How's AI changing that game?
Oh, massively. It's becoming almost essential. AI tools can do deep dives into keyword research, analyze what competitors are doing successfully, even help structure your content for better visibility.
So tools like SEMrush or ClearScope that were mentioned?
Yeah, tools like that use AI to sift through enormous amounts of data. They can spot keyword opportunities, maybe find niche topics, analyze top-ranking content to see what works. It's like having a super-powered research team.
Helping you figure out what people are searching for and how to best answer them.
Precisely. And finding gaps your competitors haven't filled.
Okay. And the last opportunity mentioned was creating entirely new forms of content.
Right. Think about things like videos using AI avatars.
Hmm.
Platforms like Synthesia let businesses create polished videos with these customizable digital presenters.
Without needing cameras, actors, studios.
Exactly. You use their pre-trained AI models to add your script, branding, and you've got a video, potentially in multiple languages. It opens up new ways to communicate, especially for video content.
Wow. Okay, so the upsides are pretty clear. Efficiency, creative help, personalization, accessibility, SEO boost, even new content types. But we hinted at the dark side earlier.
We did. And the ethical challenges and potential threats are just as significant, if not more so.
Where do we start? Authorship.
That's a huge one. If I prompt an AI to write an article, who owns the copyright? Me, the AI developer. Is it even copyrightable at all?
The legal ground is really shaky. And what about originality? If the AI learned from scraping billions of web pages.
Exactly. There's a real risk of unintentional plagiarism. How much does the AI just regurgitate versus creating something genuinely new? Where's that line?
Are there tools to check for that? Like Turnitin or Copyscape?
Those tools exist and can help, yeah. But distinguishing sophisticated AI output from original human work, or even just heavily AI-assisted work, is getting harder. It's a major headache for academia and publishing.
Okay, authorship is messy. What about bias?
Another critical issue, AI models learn from the data they're trained on. If that data reflects societal biases, and let's be honest, most large data sets do the AI can inherit and even amplify those biases.
So generated content might end up reinforcing harmful stereotypes, or maybe excluding certain groups.
Absolutely. Imagine a language model trained predominantly on Western texts. It might naturally prioritize those perspectives or lack cultural sensitivity when generating content about other regions.
How do you even fix that? More diverse data?
That's part of the solution, yes. Diverse training data sets, careful auditing of the models, ongoing work to identify and mitigate bias. But it's a constant challenge.
Then there's the whole transparency thing. Should we even know if content is AI generated?
That's a big debate. It's getting harder to tell AI from human work, which can erode trust. If people feel they might be interacting with or reading something generated by a machine without knowing it.
It feels a bit deceptive.
It can, yeah. Some organizations, like Forbes, apparently label AI-generated financial news, for instance. That transparency helps maintain credibility. But where do you draw the line? Does every AI-assisted email need a label?
Tricky. And of course, the elephant in the room for many creators. Jobs.
Job displacement, yes. If AI can automate writing, design, translation, what happens to the people doing those jobs now?
Particularly maybe entry-level roles, basic copywriting, that kind of thing.
Those seem most vulnerable, certainly. While AI can augment workflows, there's a real concern it could replace jobs focused on more repetitive or formulaic content tasks.
Though the counter-argument is always that new jobs get created, right? AI trainers, ethicists.
That's true. New roles will emerge. But the transition could be painful for many, and it's unclear if the new jobs will fully offset the losses or require completely different skill sets.
Okay, those are some serious ethical hurdles. But then there are the outright threats, things going beyond just ethical dilemmas.
Right. And top of that list has to be the proliferation of disinformation.
The fake news problem, amplified.
Massively amplified. AI makes it incredibly cheap and easy to generate huge volumes of convincing fake articles, fake social media posts, deepfake audio, deepfake video.
Stuff designed to deliberately mislead or manipulate people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Weaponized to sway public opinion, interfere in elections, incite hatred or violence. It's frighteningly effective because it can look and sound so real.
And you mentioned this earlier, it feels like it could become a tool in, well, almost a new kind of global conflict, like an information Cold War.
I think that's a fair analogy. We already see nations using information and disinformation as a tool for influence, for economic leverage. AI just gives them a vastly more powerful weapon.
Imagine generating floods of fake economic news to destabilize a rival's market, or tailored propaganda campaigns.
It could absolutely be used that way, undermining trust in institutions, sowing chaos, influencing economic outcomes. It adds a whole new dimension to geopolitical competition between powers like the US, China, Russia, Europe.
Okay, that's genuinely alarming. What other threats are we looking at?
More sophisticated scams are definitely on the list. Phishing emails become much harder to spot when they're highly personalized using AI.
Tailored specifically to you, based on scraped data, maybe.
Precisely. Fake product reviews that sound completely authentic, entire fraudulent websites that look legitimate. AI makes deception easier and more effective.
we also touched on academic integrity earlier.
Yeah, the ease of generating essays, code, solutions. It fundamentally challenges how educational institutions assess learning and the value of credentials.
If anyone can just prompt an AI to do their homework.
What does that degree mean anymore? It's a huge challenge for educators.
And then there's just the sheer volume, information overload.
Exactly. If creating content becomes virtually free and instantaneous, are we just going to drown in low-quality, repetitive, maybe inaccurate, AI-generated sludge?
Making it harder to find reliable information, degrading the quality of the internet.
That's a very real risk. The signal-to-noise ratio could get much worse, diminishing the value of the digital commons for everyone.
And finally, just relying on it too much, losing our own spark.
Over-reliance, yeah. If we lean too heavily on AI for all content creation, do we risk losing our own creativity, our authentic voice? Does everything start to feel a bit sterile, formulaic?
That's a good point. You risk alienating your audience if everything sounds like it came from the same machine.
It reinforces the idea that AI should be a tool, an amplifier, not a complete replacement for human thought and ingenuity.
Okay. So, huge opportunities, but also really significant ethical challenges and even downright scary threats. Given all that, what's the path forward? How do we manage this?
The sources suggest a multi-pronged approach, really. It starts with developing clear ethical guidelines.
Standards for how AI should be built and used responsibly, focusing on fairness, accountability.
Exactly. And transparency is key alongside that. We talked about labeling AI content, things like digital watermarking or clear indicators.
So people know what they're looking at, builds trust.
Right. And we absolutely need investment in detection tools, better ways to reliably identify AI-generated content, especially for fighting disinformation and academic fraud.
That seems crucial. What about the law?
Legal frameworks definitely need to adapt. Policymakers have to grapple with copyright, liability for harm caused by AI content, data usage rights. Our current laws that just weren't built for this.
They need to catch up, fast.
And then there's the human element, digital literacy.
Educating everyone.
Yeah, making sure the public understands what AI can do, its limitations, how it can be misused. Fostering more critical consumption habits is vital.
So we can all be a bit more savvy about the information we encounter online.
Absolutely. And finally, the sources really emphasize human-AI collaboration as the likely future.
Not AI versus humans, but humans plus AI.
Precisely. Finding that sweet spot where AI handles the scale, the data analysis, the repetitive stuff, freeing up humans for the creativity, the strategy, the emotional depth, the critical thinking.
AI crunches the numbers, humans tell the story.
Sort of, yeah. AI refines the grammar, analyzes trends, drafts options. Humans provide the vision, the narrative arc, the empathy that connects with other humans. It's about leveraging the strengths of both.
Okay, so wrapping this up. AI content generation is clearly a double-edged sword. Massive potential for good efficiency, creativity, personalization.
But also serious potential for harm, disinformation, bias, job disruption, scams, degrading information quality. Especially that disinformation piece in the context of global influence in economics.
Yeah, that Cold War angle is sobering, so the key takeaway seems to be balance.
Definitely. We need a really balanced, thoughtful approach. Leverage the benefits, absolutely, but actively mitigate the risks. Through ethics, transparency, detection tech, updating laws, boosting digital literacy, and focusing on that human-AI collaboration.
It's going to be a continuous effort, it seems, not a one-time fix.
No doubt, this field is moving so quickly.
So maybe a final thought for our listeners to chew on. As this AI tech gets ever more sophisticated, capable of shaping not just our news feeds, but potentially global events, how are you going to change how you read, watch, and listen? How will you evaluate what's real and what's not in the coming years? And maybe, what role can you play in making sure our information future stays trustworthy?
Something important for all of us to consider.
Indeed. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on this deep dive.